Dogman fans, we need to talk about Petey the Cat, because a few books ago, something happened that completely changed the entire series, and at first, most fans didn't even notice. You see, Petey the Cat disappeared. In book 13 and 14, Petey is gone from the Dogman series, and today we're breaking down exactly why, the clues Dav Pilkey left behind, the QR code in Dogman 14, and the 3 biggest theories that fans are debating right now. So if you're wondering what happened to Petey, buckle up and subscribe, because this is getting interesting. First, let's start with the facts. Petey is one of the most important characters in the entire Dogman universe. He used to be the main villain for the first 4 books, but after Lil Petey came along, everything changed. His character arc became one of the deepest and most emotional parts of the Dogman books, from the world's most evilest cat to a father trying to become a better version of himself. Suddenly, he vanished from the story, and that's a big deal. But here's where things get weird. Petey does appear, but only in a quick hidden video that you can only unlock by scanning a QR code at the end of book 14. In the video, Sarah visits him and he's in his workshop, avoiding pretty much every question she asks about when he's coming back and why he disappeared. He's building a giant space shark machine and he doesn't want to explain why. He really doesn't need anyone bothering him in his opinion, and it's like he's preparing for something huge. So that brings us to the biggest question. Why would Dav Pilkey remove Petey for 2 entire books? And what is he planning? Theory number 1. Petey is gonna team up with Big Jim. This idea is really promising because in the hidden video, Petey acts like he's busy with something that matters, and not just in a casual way. Meanwhile, Big Jim, Dogman, Grandpa, and the others are becoming an unofficial superhero squad. If you line up the timeline, Petey disappears at the exact moment that Big Jim locks in as Commander Cupcake and starts taking his hero role more seriously. Fans think that Petey might join him, but quietly behind the scenes. He might be helping Commander Cupcake upgrade his tech, design new gadgets, or create something powerful enough to deal with future threats. And honestly, this lines up pretty well with Petey's whole evolution. He's not really a front row hero anymore. He's the planner, the strategist, the guy building the thing that saves the day. Petey's strength has always been his mind, not his muscles. So him stepping back to support the team in secret is very possible. At the end of the scene with Sarah, he says, "What could possibly go wrong?" which is an iconic quote that Dav Pilkey has had the characters say right when things are about to go wrong. Theory number 2. Petey returns to fix his relationship with Grandpa. This theory hits even deeper, emotionally deeper. Everything with Grandpa and Petey's past is complicated. Grandpa abandoned him, he blamed him, he stole from him. Petey's whole personality is affected by being pushed aside by Grandpa his whole life. So the idea that Petey stepped away from the main cast to try and calm down, reflect, and even attempt to understand Grandpa, that feels very matched up with Dav Pilkey's writing. Petey's redemption arc has always been about growth, forgiveness, and breaking old patterns. If you look at it, Grandpa is the last unfinished piece of the puzzle. The last few books focused heavily on Grandpa's backstory and his cycle of unhappiness. Maybe Petey finally realized that ignoring Grandpa and fighting with him isn't the right answer. Maybe he's trying to break that cycle, not just for himself, but for little Petey as well. If Dogman 15 ends up bringing Petey and Grandpa together in a real emotional way, it could end up being one of the most powerful moments in the entire series. Theory number 3. Petey teams up with the Space Cuties. This is wild, but the craziness makes it even more interesting. The Space Cuties were introduced as adorable but extremely dangerous villains capable of transforming the whole world into cute versions of itself. But what if their story isn't actually over, even when we thought it was? Some fans believe the Space Cuties might come back, not as enemies, but as desperate allies. After everything that happened, maybe they realized that something far worse is coming from space, something even they can't handle. And Petey might be the only character on Earth who's smart enough to help them stop it. In this version of the theory, the hidden video becomes a huge clue. The space shark looks like a less random invention and a more defensive prototype or even a rescue vehicle. Maybe the space cuties reached out to Petey first because he's the only one with the intelligence, the technology, and even the guts to understand the threat. It seems like the space cuties warned Petey. Maybe they asked for some help and assistance. And it seems like Petey realized that this wasn't something the Super Buddies could fight with flip-o-ramas and good vibes. And here's where it gets really interesting. The space cuties aren't evil. Hugs and kindness literally defeat them. So them switching sides wouldn't actually be out of character by too much. They might be scared, they want to protect themselves. Whatever it is, they might even trust Petey more than anyone else, because if we're being real, he's the only one who thinks like a strategist instead of a superhero. And if we're being honest, who would you trust more of a secret? Petey or someone like Big Jim or Dogman? Because as much as I like the latter, Petey seems a little bit better at keeping things under wraps. If this were to happen, Dav Pilkey keeping him outside of the series for 2 whole books isn't random. It's a slow and careful setup for Petey's biggest invention ever, and maybe the moment he returns to reveal what's coming towards Earth the entire time. So which theory do you think is most likely? Honestly, I think all 3 might be connected. Petey steps away to give Dav Pilkey room to build up Big Jim, Dogman, Grandpa, and everyone else. But it also sets up the perfect moment for Petey to return, with something shocking, emotional, and definitely game-changing. And don't forget, Petey isn't just any character. He's the heart of the series in many ways. Maybe him stepping off stage for 2 books just makes his return even bigger. So what do you think happened to Petey? Is he building a space shark to fight someone? Fixing things up with Grandpa? Or maybe he's preparing for a threat from outer space? Perhaps Dav Pilkey is setting up the biggest Petey twist of the entire series, but regardless, I want to hear your theory in the comments. Subscribe if you love all things Dogman, and as always, Big Jim for the win.